Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Orson Welles in the Harry Allen Towers prequel to The Third Man and The Lives of Harry Lime. This episode of the program syndicated independently, not by the BBC as some people like to think. Originally broadcast August 10th, 1951, See Naples and Live.
Presenting Orson Welles as the Third Man. The Lives of Harry Lime. The fabulous stories of the immortal character originally created in the motion picture The Third Man, with zither music by Anton Karas.
That was the shot that killed Harry Lime. He died in a sewer beneath Vienna, as those of you know who saw the movie The Third Man. Yes, that was the end of Harry Lime. But it was not the beginning. Harry Lime had many lives, and I can recount all of them. How do I know? Very simple. Because my name is Harry Lime.
And now, Orson Welles as Harry Lime, the Third Man in See Naples and Live.
Once upon a time, there was an exquisite and huge emerald locket which spent most of its life looking out of the world from the rather fleshy neck of a Mrs. Donaldson as she waddled like a golden duck across the international social horizon. I had a rather strong desire to change the habitat of this particular locket from the neck of this particular lady to my own particular itching palm. It was Naples before the war.
Enter. You kept me impatient for an hour, Mr. Lime.
I'm sorry, Signor Rubio. I just flew in from London, forgot to move my watch ahead.
It is my knowledge that you have been in Naples for 3 days now, but it does not matter. I am a man with a skill for waiting.
I'm going to be very brief. I won't waste any more of your time, old man.
Bueno. But first I must tell you that I have made all the arrangements to dispose of the Donaldson Emerald.
Oh, yes?
As soon as we possess it, of course.
There's a small item I forgot to tell you about, Signor Rubio. I have decided to include you out.
I do not think I understand.
To be brief and simple, I have decided to dissolve our partnership, old man.
Oh, you're disposing of me?
Perhaps that's a nicer way of saying it.
I do not prefer to be disposed.
Naturally you don't, but sometimes we get disposed, whether we like it or not.
Mr. Lime, we began this enterprise together, and I think we shall finish it together.
You have never been more in error, old man. Now, you must forgive me for running off my...
A moment, Mr. Lime.
Yes?
You recall Carlos?
I do.
And that young man from Innsbruck, I forget his name.
You mean Mannheimer?
Yes, if it were possible, they would be very sorry they were rude to me.
I'm now the most well-threatened man in Europe, and you have joined an innumerable caravan. Arrivederci.
Don't farewell me yet, Mr. Lime.
Sorry, but I really must.
Do not force me to shoot you. If you take one more step toward the door, I will fire.
Now, don't be a complete fool, old man. If they found a dead man in your room, they'd hang you.
I will be easy with you. Just tell me where Mrs. Donaldson is, and I will forgive you your ungratefulness.
Rubio, I'm on my way out. If you fire that gun, the police will be here before you can get out of the hotel. Buongiorno.
There's a saying in this city, see Naples and die.
It only proves that life is very short and uncertain for us all. Goodbye, old man. Believe me, I am not a professional hero. But I was not at all concerned about Signor Rubio putting a bullet in me, not in his hotel room. I hurried to the pier where the Arcturus was about to dock. She was carrying precious freight, Mrs. Donaldson. I'd already made arrangements with one of the customs officials to hold Mrs. Donaldson up on a pretext of going through her luggage. A few thousand liras did the trick.
Oh, you stubborn man. I tell you, there's nothing contraband in my luggage. You've already gone through my clothes twice with your dirty hands. Amy, talk to this man. He doesn't understand a word of English.
My Italian is worse than his English.
Mi rincresce tanto, signora, ma è necessario. Ho istruzione di esaminare il vostro bagaglio. Deve aver pazienza.
What seems to be the trouble here?
Thank heavens, an American. I have no idea why this idiotic official is rummaging through my clothes.
That's just a matter of form, you know.
You'd think I was a smuggler or something. I've been to Naples many times, and there's never been this ridiculous fuss. I'll talk to the American consul. See to it that this man loses his job. I wonder if you could talk to him. That is, if you can speak Italian.
Of course, I'd be only too happy to. Let me see what I can do. Che cosa succede qui?
È di regola di esaminare ogni 25 passeggeri.
No, questo non è necessario, conosco le signore. Questa è la mia carta.
Ah, signore, mi rincresce tanto di aver dato alla signora tutto questo disturbo.
No, veramente. Niente. It's all right now, you're cleared. Here, let me help your bags,
Thank you ever so much. I don't know what I would have done without you. Amy, get one of those porters to help us with the luggage.
Yes, Mrs. Donaldson.
I have my car here. I'd be glad to give you a lift to your hotel.
Oh, I wouldn't want you to bother.
Oh, no bother at all. One fellow American to another, you know.
Thank you. These taxi drivers rob you mercilessly.
Oh, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. My name is Lime. Harold Lime.
I'm Mrs. Frederica Donaldson. I'm so glad we ran into you. A wonderful piece of luck.
Well, let's say we're well met. Loveliness was gracing my car. Loveliness in the form of the emerald locket around Mrs. Donaldson's neck, and loveliness in the form of Amy Collins. She was Mrs. Donaldson's hired companion. She had red hair and eyes to match the emerald, and she liked me. I think she liked me. Every so often I'd catch her eye. And she'd turn away, as if she were guilty of something.
Really, Mr. Lime, I've never been so humiliated. Just standing there with that man poking away at my underthings, messing up all my clothes. Absolutely no regard for our feelings. Something should be done about this.
He was only following instructions. I don't think he
wasn't doing anything of the sort. He was just being malicious and perverse. If it weren't for Mr. Lime, I don't know what would have happened. We're deeply indebted to him.
Oh, you don't owe me anything at all. I did what any other American would have done, Mrs. Donaldson.
I wish we could repay you for your kindness.
Well, you know, I think maybe you can.
Wonderful. Just tell us what it is.
Well, I've got to buy my sister a gift. It's her birthday. I don't know too much about jewelry, so I wonder if either of you could come along and help me shop.
Of course we can. Amy does most of my shopping for me. She's very good at
That's
it.
Wonderful.
I'm sure she'd be delighted to help you.
Don't you want me to help you get your things unpacked?
I'm already unpacked, thanks to that customs official. No, you go ahead. Just drop me at the hotel.
You don't mind, do you, Miss Collins?
Oh, no, not at all.
Good. It's a relief. Now, I'd like both of you to be my guests at dinner tonight.
That's very kind of you. We'd be delighted.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Mrs. Donaldson. Really, it's my pleasure. We deposited fat Mrs. Donaldson in her room, and then Amy and I went shopping. I took her along to the Corso Vittorio Emanuele, one of Naples' better thoroughfares.
What are you looking for, Mr. Lime?
Please, call me Harry.
All right.
May I call you Amy?
If you wish.
You don't sound very enthusiastic.
Please call me Amy.
That's much better.
What do you want to buy for your sister?
Some nice jewelry, a necklace or a locket, something like that. Mrs. Donaldson was wearing something pretty, something like that.
You don't know much about jewelry, do you?
Well, I know what I like. Most of the time, the things I like you can find in a dime store.
You won't find Mrs. Donaldson's locket in a dime store. It costs about $20,000.
$20,000? You're kidding.
No, that's a real emerald she has set in the locket.
Well, she must be crazy traveling with a thing like that flashing on her neck.
Oh, well, it's not very wise, but she's very sentimental about it. Her husband gave it to her just before he died. She swore to wear it every day of her life. She was very devoted to him.
Well, I suppose you think I'm pretty much of a chump about jewelry.
You have good taste.
I also have good luck meeting you.
Life is very strange, isn't it?
You know why?
Well, just half an hour ago, you and I were total strangers. Now here I am helping you buy a gift as if we'd known each other for a long time.
Well, there's nothing wrong in that, is there?
No, it's just at the moment you entered the scene, things seemed to move fast and efficiently.
You make it sound as if it were a force.
Oh, I didn't mean it that way.
I can go away and come back again and do it more slowly.
I suppose I sound foolish.
Perhaps it's because you like me too soon.
Well,
I liked you too soon.
Well,
that's probably too fast for you, too. But you see, I'm a man who says what's on his mind. It's probably not a very efficient way of talking to a gentle soul like you.
Oh, no, I prefer straightforward people.
All right, now, you be straightforward. What was your first reaction to me when you first saw me?
I was interested. Perhaps maybe intrigued.
That's better.
You have a way of condensing relationships quickly.
Well, if people like each other, they don't need a calendar full of time to tell them about it.
Good things grow slowly. Here's a shop.
Well, they all look pretty. That filigree pin. I like that. It's very nice.
Which one?
The one near the large cameo.
Oh, yes, it is very pretty. Shall we go in?
Wait, let's look at the other things in the window.
I'm begging your pardon. I heard you conversing English.
We were talking American, a totally different language.
I'm trying to reach Via Salvatore Rosa. Could you inform me how to get there?
Sure, old man. Turn right the next corner, go straight for 3 squares.
I'm much grateful.
That's right, all right.
Perhaps you would like to... you like a cigarette?
No, thank you very much. Just turn right at the next corner.
Oh, I'm unhappy to trouble you further,
Oh,
but
that's,
do you have a match?
I'm sorry, but I don't have any matches with me.
I have a light.
Mademoiselle is most generous. 1,000 thanks.
Turn right at the next corner.
And 3 squares down,
And 3 squares down.
Good day to you all. Perhaps you will meet again, eh? Good day.
He seemed most reluctant to leave.
Yeah. An odd fellow.
Why did you refuse to give him a
I
light?
didn't like his face.
Did you ever see him before?
Why do you ask that?
We acted as if he knew you.
Well, I didn't care to know him.
I think you gave him the wrong direction.
Well, it could be.
It seems that if he followed your directions, he would find himself in the Bay of Naples.
I'm sure it won't dampen his spirits. Shall we go in now?
Yes, of course. There's just one thing I'd like to ask you.
I'll answer anything you want.
What do you do for a living?
For a living? Oh, I'm a dealer in objets d'art. I wander through the world, collecting the best things.
Sounds very interesting.
It is. It's often quite exciting. Now, let's go in and buy that filigree pin.
August 10th, 1951, The Lives of Harry Lime on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, more The Lives of Harry Lime, starring Orson Welles. See Naples and Live, August 10th, 1951.
And now, Orson Welles as Harry Lime, the third man in See Naples and Live.
I bought a pin for 2,500 lira. On the way back to Amy's hotel, she was thoughtful and not much inclined to do any talking. I took her by the hand. She didn't object to that, but she didn't react to the touch. Put it simply, she just let me hold her hand, nothing more. I suspected that Signor Rubio had made too strong an impression. It was essential now that I work fast. The emerald would have to be in my pocket tonight or not at all. However, I wasn't worried about Rubio. Strange enough, it was Amy. It bothered me. I was beginning to be a little too fond of her. And that was bad. I always make it a point not to be too fond of anyone in this world.
This is a lovely romantic restaurant.
I'm glad you like it.
How did you discover it, Mr. Lime?
You just ask the porter in the hotel. They know everything in Italy. The portiers are the best informed people in the country.
It's simply delightful.
Oh, good.
Don't you think so, Amy?
Yes, I do. It's charming.
Won't you have some more spumante?
Well, just a drop. I declare, it's just like champagne.
Yes, it's the Italian version.
It's so kind of you to give so much time to us, Mr. Lime. Really, it is. Amy, isn't Mr. Lime just a dear?
I think he's most generous.
Oh, I'm having such a delicious time. I feel so happy. Happier than I've been since... I wish poor Benjamin were here with us. You would have liked him, Mr. Lime.
Oh, I'm sure I would.
Poor Benjamin.
Oh, no, Mrs. Donaldson. Let's not be sad here. Just have a little more spumante.
Oh, I really don't think we should. I'm afraid you're going to make us all drunk, Mr. Lime.
Oh, Amy, I don't think another drop will hurt us. After all...
By this time, Mrs. Donaldson was becoming thoroughly relaxed. Spumante is a fine relaxer. I stirred the champagne with the wooden swizzle sticks, the bottom of which was well laced with phenobarbital. My keynote for the evening, as you can see, was relaxation. Before the evening was over, my emeralded guest was going to be the most relaxed woman in all Italy. The spumante bubbled and frothed over as I stirred it.
I know I shouldn't have another glass, but...
Perhaps you had better stop, Mrs. Donald.
Never. I just feel so wonderful.
How about you, Amy?
All right.
A toast to us. May we always be as happy as we are now.
A toast to you, Mr. Lime. You wonderful, wonderful man.
I patted her neck. I wanted her to get used to the touch of my hand against her neck. She withdrew a little, for her neck had become super sensitive about the locket. As we drank, I studied the clasp on the locket. It was a simple device. You turned a tiny wheel, and it released the catch. Just a twist of the wrist.
The musicians are going to play again.
Cameriere, cameriere.
Please, Mr. Lime, no more spumante.
No, I have a special surprise.
Yes, signore?
Have the musicians come over here.
Yes, signore.
Oh, isn't that sweet?
That's a lovely gesture, Harry.
I thought you'd forgotten my first name.
Here they are, signore. What would you like them to play?
Well, what would you like, Mrs. Donaldson?
Oh, I can't think of a thing.
How about some Neapolitan songs?
Per favore, a Monastero Santa Chiara. Canta però. It was going to be very easy. They were completely at ease, and they trusted me. Amy stole her hand into mine as they played. It was really quite pleasant. I leaned back and relaxed.
That was just beautiful.
Very good. Thank you. Molto grazie. Here's something for the lads.
Oh, grazie, signore.
Did you enjoy it, Mrs. Donaldson?
They played divinely.
I have a wonderful idea. How would you all like to go for a drive to Pompeii?
At this hour?
Yeah, it's only 10 o'clock. It's a full moon. It'd be quite a thrill.
I'd adore to go. Fascinating place. I've been there many times.
Well, you have to see it at night.
Isn't it closed?
Of course it is. We can go in through the back way near the arena.
I'm willing if Mrs. Donaldson is.
Try and stop me. What a marvelous idea.
It's just one thing.
What is it?
Amy told me about your emerald locket. I think it'd be safer if you left it at your hotel. In the safe at the hotel.
Don't you worry about it. I never take it off
No, but
my
really.
neck. Except when I retire. Don't worry about it. It's perfectly safe. Besides, we won't find any criminals in Pompeii.
No, I'm sure not. But all the same, I'd feel better if you left the
Oh,
locket.
no, I can't do that. Please don't fret about it.
All right, if you're sure.
Let's go right now.
Just let me pay the bill. Cameriere?
Yes, signore.
Conto, per favore. Check.
Si, signore.
It was less than an hour's ride to the ancient, extinct city of Pompeii, lying like a corpse at the foot of its killer, Vesuvius. We entered through the gardens of an ancient home. The moon shone down hard and white, lighting up the empty city.
Isn't it thrilling?
Beautiful and frightening.
A chap by the name of Trebio Valenti used to live here. He hasn't been home for nearly 2,000 years. Here we are in Abbondanza Street. It's in perfect condition.
Isn't it exciting?
It's unbelievable.
Look at the gutter. You can see where the chariot wheels made deep ruts in the stone.
What a narrow street.
We can walk in the gutter. I don't think we'll be run over by any chariots tonight.
Where does this street lead to?
To the Forum.
What about those lovely buildings?
Oh, they're old mansions. Belong to a couple of rich fellows. See the sign on the wall?
What does it say?
Post no bills. In Latin.
And the sign alongside of it?
Down with such and such a tyrant. Time has worn away the name.
It's just amazing.
It's all beginning to make me feel faint.
Now, don't you feel well, Mrs. Donaldson?
I feel fine. Just sleepy. I don't know why I should feel sleepy when I'm so excited.
Don't you want to sit down?
Maybe I'd better.
We'll just rest for a moment.
I think we'd better go back.
We will, but first we'll let Mrs. Donaldson catch a few minutes' rest. There's a marble bench in the atrium of the Casa de Ceriali. He used to be an arrogant rich man who didn't like the strangers visiting his palatial home, but I don't think he'll mind now.
Oh, it's lovely in
Here we are. You sit down, Mrs. Donaldson, and rest your shoulder against mine. There you are.
You're a darling, Mr. Lime.
Amy, if you walk into the other room to your right, you'll see some excellent frescoes. They're beautifully preserved.
May I have the flashlight?
Yes, here. Mrs. Donaldson was sleeping softly. I pressed my fingers against her neck to test her responses. There was no reaction. Tried it again so that even in her sleep she would feel no alarm, become accustomed to the feel of fingers around her throat. She slept peacefully on. I quickly unloosed the catch and with slow care, not to slide the locket, picked it gently off her neck. At the same time, I held her hand to divert a sensation of touch. It was done quickly. I was ready to make my silent departure, gently propped her against a pillar. Then I heard a sound that froze me. Footsteps. Footsteps, and they weren't Amy's. Who's there?
What's the matter?
I caught a glimpse of him. It was one of the guards. There was only one thing to do, run. Strada Stabione, I turned the corner and ran into one of the old Roman baths. I made for one of the rooms, expecting it to have another exit. It was dark, and I fumbled around. I had a very unpleasant feeling when I became aware that the only way out was the way I came in. I reined back. It was too late. My pursuer was standing at the entrance with a flashlight in one hand and a gun in the other. It was not a guard. It was a Rubio.
You see, Harry, fate has thrown us together again.
It's still around her neck.
The locket, please.
I just told you it's
I'm not in my hotel now. This time I will kill you. Give me the locket.
I'm not a usually reckless fellow, but this time I did a very rash thing. I rushed him. He fired. The bullet tore a hole in my shoulder, barely touching my skin. I wrestled with him. He fell on the marble floor. He was wiry and very strong. In a few seconds, it was clear that he was in far better shape than I. Then he hit me a very rude blow on the head with a gun. And I abandoned the fight.
August 10th, 1951, Orson Welles, The Lives of Harry Lime, on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
You ever make a change and then think, why didn't I do this years ago? Well, that's how people feel about switching to Medishare for their health care, especially now with inflation the way it is. People are very happy with the savings. Most families save about $500 a month when they switch. It's a huge help when prices are going up so fast in so many other areas. And Medishare's customer satisfaction rate is double that of health insurance. It's just a different experience, and people really like that. Medishare is an alternative to health insurance. It's a community of Christians who share each other's healthcare bills, and it's been going strong for over 25 years. It really is the gold standard, the most trusted name in healthcare sharing. Find out why people love it, find out why they rave about the customer service, and find out how good it feels to save some money right now. They're super easy to talk to. Here's the number, 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE, 833-34-BIBLE.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, the conclusion of The Lives of Harry Lime, Orson Welles, The Third Man, August 10th, 1951.
For a moment, I just lay there thinking what a very evil moment of my life this was.
Now, the locket.
Okay.
Thank you. And now I think I will dispose of you for having caused me all this trouble.
Out! Armamento! Getta il revolver, signore, altrimenti tiro.
That's the police, Rubio, old man. You're caught.
Armamento.
Caught red-handed.
Come here. Oh, but the emerald.
It doesn't belong to you, old man. Better go along quietly with the police. Look, there's some more of them coming through the door. No use putting up a fight. Remember what I've always told you, old man. Crime doesn't pay.
I don't know how to thank you, Mr. Lime. Risking your life to save my locket.
Oh, that's all right.
You're the most brave man to chase after him in the dark, unarmed.
I just gone to see where Amy was, and I heard the sound. There he was, deftly removing the locket from your neck.
I felt someone puttering around my neck, but I thought it was you.
Oh, really?
I was asleep, you know.
Yeah. Now, I had my suspicions about this Rubio from the first.
Does the wound hurt much?
Oh, it's nothing, just a hole in my suit.
And a bad bump on your head. You poor boy.
Mm-hmm. It'll heal.
Amy, you haven't said a word to our hero since they arrested that Rubio man.
I'm just stunned.
Oh, I'm sorry we got you into this. I never should have taken you to Pompeii. It's all my fault.
Of course not. That terrible man would have tried to snatch the locket wherever I was. It's just a lucky thing I met up with you. I'm going to give you a gift. You just must take it. a 100-pound note.
Oh, I wouldn't think of it.
You'd make me very happy if you took it.
Oh, no, I absolutely
Please,
couldn't.
Mr. Lime, please.
Well, if it means so much to you, I'll give it to my favorite charity, yes. Well, here we are at the hotel, safe and sound.
Thanks to you. I must run upstairs. The whole thing is giving me a severe headache. You will call me in the morning, won't you, Mr. Lime?
Indeed, I will, Mrs. Donaldson.
Good night.
Good night. Oh, Amy, can I have a word with you?
I'll be up in a moment, Mrs. Donaldson.
Of course, dear. Good night, again. And bless you, Mr. Lime.
I'm sorry about this evening, Amy.
So am I.
Let's meet for lunch tomorrow.
No, Harry.
Why not?
I never saw the frescoes on the wall.
You didn't?
No, I didn't find them, and I walked all the way around. I saw you from the front entrance.
Oh.
Besides, a man who deals in fine arts would know an emerald locket from a dime store trinket.
Yes. Should have thought of that.
I was beginning to like you very much, Harry.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm not the kind of man you'd like to begin to like a little more.
It's a pity.
You want to see me again, ever?
It'll never be any good.
Well, you might as well have the filigree pin.
What about your sister?
I haven't spoken to my sister in 10 years. She doesn't approve of me. Suppose Supposing I give it to you.
No, thanks.
You mean you wouldn't take it?
No, I couldn't.
Well, supposing if you didn't take it, I just threw it away.
Oh, but you shouldn't do that.
Oh, I won't. We were just supposing. Now, goodbye, Amy. There's no supposing about that, I suppose.
And now, Harry Lime.
As I walked to my hotel, I thought about l'affaire Emerald. It cost me about $100 to bribe the custom official, the champagne, and the gold filigree pin. The reward left me with a profit of $270 plus a bump on the head and a hole in my suit. I'd lost the lovely green emerald and the lovely green eyes of Amy. The emerald didn't bother me too much, but Amy. Oh, Amy. She nearly interfered with the great romance of my life. My love for Harry Lime.
And there you go, August 10th, 1951, The Lives of Harry Lime here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. All right, now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, another episode of the soap opera Claudia, August 10th, 1948.
Your Coca-Cola bottler presents Claudia, based on the famous play and novels by Rose Franken. Brought to you transcribed Monday through Friday by your friendly neighbor who bottles Coca-Cola. Relax, and while you're listening, refresh yourself. Have a Coke. And now, Claudia.
2 and 4 is 6, and 3 is 9. 2 is 11. Carry 1. 1 and 8 is 9. Oh, that doorbell. Wait a minute, I'm adding. See now. Carry 1 and 8 is 9. That's right.
Door was open, so I just walked in. Anybody home?
Yep, I'm home, Mr. Tucker. Come right on in.
Yeah. I ain't interrupting anything, am I?
Oh, I'm glad you did. This checkbook is always wrong.
I just come over to borrow your phone, if I may. My
certainly.
confounded instrument went on the blink. I don't think they know how to build them right yet. A little bit of rain and out they go. And on a morning like this, wouldn't you know it had to happen, though?
What happened, Mr. Tucker? I mean, what else?
Me dang phone went on the blink just as Ruby's farrowing.
Who is Ruby? What's she doing?
Ruby's my prize pig, and she's having pigs.
Oh, well, why didn't you say so?
Oh, where's that blamed instrument?
It's right over there.
Got to get hold of that veterinary. She's in bad trouble, and I can't help her now.
Well, now, don't you be so upset. Everything will be all right.
She'd have to start when my phone went on the blink. It's kind of like they both knew the other one wasn't working proper, you know.
Do you know the vet's number, Mr. Tucker?
Yeah, I've got it right here someplace. Hello, operator. Give me Brook 480. Ring 1. And you better bustle on it. This is an emergency.
Is Ruby having trouble?
Oh, terrible trouble. Terrible trouble.
Oh,
yep,
dear.
Ruby's my prize pig. You can make a fat lot of money out of pigs like Ruby. Comes a fine line of pigs, sells your litter, and there you are. Ruby's like an annuity. Now she's gone and having trouble farrowing. Where's that dang vet? Hello, operator. Where's that number?
Don't be so upset. Just take it easy, Mr. Tucker. She's trying to get him for you.
I don't think she knows what she's doing. Them young girls ain't interested in getting numbers. They're sitting in their chairs gabbling with each other. Hello? Hello? Is this Dr. Graves' house? Jared Tucker here. Give me Dr. Graves. Give him to me quick, too.
Well, you make no bones about it.
He ain't there. Well, that ain't possible. He's got to be there. That's his office, ain't it? Gone up to Hartford for the day. What's he doing going up to Hartford? Never heard of such a thing. Well, I need him. I need him bad.
It's too bad you didn't know ahead of time, like I did when I was having Bobby. We had plenty of notice.
No point in Dr. Graves calling me tonight. You can tell him he's lost his job with me. What kind of a vet is that anyway? Running up to Hartford on a day like this.
Don't get excited, Mr. Tucker.
Don't get excited. Why shouldn't I get excited? My phone, my pig, my everything.
Well, surely you know another vet in the neighborhood. What's the name of that man who lives down by the nursery? The other side of Eastbrook.
Oh, him. I never used him.
Oh, I'm sure he's very good if he's in practice up here.
I don't like no new fellas around. He's a Pennsylvania man.
Ruby won't mind.
Well, guess this is enough for an emergency.
Here's his number right here in the book. Dr. Wood, Eastbrook Center, 28, ring 4.
Operator, give me Eastbrook Center, 28, ring 4. You better see that line ain't busy. I ain't got all day, I haven't.
I hope Ruby will be all right. I can imagine how she feels.
She better be all right, or I'll sue Dr. Graves all right going up to Hartford. I'll sue the phone company, too. They ain't got no right letting my phone go on the blink. Persecution against pigs, that's what it is.
Does Dr. Wood answer?
He ain't answered yet. I don't think I like him. He's too slow.
Well, they'll answer.
What's that, operator? He don't answer. Oh, the line's busy. Okay, yes. I'll wait for your call. But make it quick.
You just sit back, Mr. Tucker, and Dr. Wood will call you.
Sit back. Take it easy. This ain't right.
Look, if Ruby's such a wonderful pig, she'll manage.
Persecution against pigs, that's what it is. I don't know why everybody says pigs ain't sweeter, they ain't clean. Pigs is the cleanest animals in the world.
Oh, I wouldn't bet on it.
Give a pig an opportunity to take a bath, and he'll take it all right. Pigs just look dirty because folks like to keep them dirty. Makes folks look clean to have a dirty pig around. That's what it is. Pigs can be pets, too. That's Ruby. What a lady.
I'd like to meet her sometime.
See that you do. You'd like her. Say, where's that nice mother of yours?
Well, I'm not sure Mom would be flattered by you speaking of Ruby in one breath and her in the next. She's in New York for the day.
I'll give her my respects. She's a fine lady, too. Phones never ring when you want them to. Obstinate critters.
Well, stop staring at it. You're scaring it to death.
Is that your husband out there in the field?
Yes, that's David. He stayed out in Eastbrook today because this afternoon he has to meet with the school board about the new school building.
Oh, I ain't questioning his being here. Eastbrook's a good place to be. But, who's that there walking across the field with him?
Oh, well, that's Fritz.
Oh, so that's him.
Mm-hmm.
Your new man, ain't he?
Fritz and his wife Bertha, they came up to be with us. She cooks, and Fritz is a wonderful farmer. We're very lucky to have them.
I hear say around town they're foreigners.
Foreigners? They are not. They're only from New York like us. They're originally from abroad, of course, but, well, that's a long time ago.
They don't have to be from abroad. They can be from New York, and they're still foreigners.
Are we?
You was. Ain't there enough local towns around here for you to be using on your place?
Frankly, we haven't had much luck with local talent.
Well, don't know as I like it. This land's been farmed by my family and my ancestors and my friends and my relatives for well nigh under 200 years. Don't know as I like this here, Fritz, coming in here with his foreign ideas.
Fritz and Bertha needed us. They were in trouble. We were very glad to help them out, and we're glad to have them here, too, Mr. Tucker. They're fine people.
Maybe they are. But that ain't got nothing to do with it. You ain't been here so long yourself that you can start looking around and bringing in more outsiders.
Well, we use Dr. Bowery. We use your carpenters. We have the same trouble you have with the local electricians and plumbers and contractors and so forth, so I don't think you have much right to say.
Well, you use everybody else up here, so you could have gone whole hog. Oh, what's the use in arguing when the pig's in trouble? What's happened to that dang operator? Has he decided to take a vacation now?
Oh, there he is.
What'd you say that doctor's name was?
Dr. Wood.
Hello, Dr. Wood? Oh, it ain't you, hey? Well, give me Dr. Wood. Jared Tucker here. He ain't there. Well, that can't be. He's got to be there. Went up to Bridgeport to deliver a colt. What's he doing with the horse when Maruby's farrowing? You can tell him for me I won't call him up again, I won't. Well, the medical profession ain't got no sense of honor, no sense of responsibility.
I'm sorry, Mr. Tucker, but well, maybe this isn't as much of an emergency as you think it is.
It's worse than it is. If something happens to Ruby, well, I ain't just thinking about myself, Mrs. Norton. I'm thinking about her.
Of course you are.
Claudia balanced the checkbook yet?
Come in, darling. Jared Tucker's here, and he's in trouble with his pig.
Oh, sorry to hear that. Anything we can do?
I'm over to borrow your phone, but 'twa'n't no use.
Mr. Tucker's prize pig is farrowing, David, and she's in trouble.
No vet around. It's all part of this here prejudice against pigs. Yes, that's what it is. That's what it is.
I think I have a person who can help you out, Mr. Tucker. We were just talking about raising pigs this morning.
Who's that?
My new man, Fritz. He's quite a hand with animals.
I don't trust no foreigners.
Do you trust us?
Well, you ain't lived here in Eastbrook very long, but...
How long does it take to be an insider?
At least 20 years, darling.
Oh.
We could be from Bridgeport and still be outsiders. It's nothing against Fritz.
Well, it better not be.
To be an Eastbrooker, you have to have lived here, died here, and then live here again. Then you are an insider.
That ain't what I said.
Oh, it's exactly what you said. I'll get it. Maybe it's one of the doctors calling back. Hello? Yes, he's here. Well, Miss Tucker, hello. Oh, dear. Well, yes, of course, I'll tell him right away. Goodbye. That's your sister. She says your phone's fixed. You better hurry back. She says Ruby's weaker.
There ain't a dang thing I can do to help her. I don't want to go back there and just watch her.
Mr. Norton, I would like to... Oh, excuse me, please.
Just a moment, Fritz. Well, Mr. Tucker?
Well, comes a time when a man's got to have a break with his convictions. And this here's the time, I guess. Mr. Fritz, you're no friend of mine, but Mr. Norton here says you got away with pigs. Now let's prove it. Come on.
Yeah, that is all. 8 little ones.
Well, how is she, man? How is she?
She is fine now. We helped her, and she's fine. She's feeding them, too. She is a little tired, but don't worry, that's good.
Great day in the morning, what a time we've had. Don't mind saying I'm tired myself just watching.
Fritz, that settles it. We're going to have to get some animals on our place. You have a way with them.
Well, it was nothing more little pigs I have brought into the world than you can count.
That was one of the most exciting, the most beautiful things I've ever seen. Birth of new life. Ruby was so patient and brave. And 8 of them. Say, Ruby's a much better woman than I am.
Sure, she's all right now.
Yeah, look at her. She smiles.
You know, I think she does.
She does.
Oh, Ruby, you sure put a fright on to me acting up like that.
Well, it happens, even with the best of pigs. You know, Ruby is a very fine animal, Mr. Tucker. You must be very proud of her.
I love her like my own mother. God rest her soul.
I think that of all the animals, perhaps pigs are the most
I
interesting.
think they're fantastic. Just look at those little piglets. They're born absolutely complete. Are all other animals like that?
No, pigs are much more complete than the others.
A baby lamb is very wobbly at first.
And I saw a new calf once. She looked like a woman with too much mascara on.
My Ruby had a fine litter. Yep, these pigs going to bring me a good lot of dollars, are.
Oh, I don't know how you can bear to part with any of them. Look at them, walking around on their tiptoes. Just like little fat old ladies whose shoes are too small. Oh, they're adorable.
Yeah, they are sweet. That Ruby, Mr. Tucker, she has fine quarters and a good long back.
I picked her up myself at the Danbury Fair last summer. Yep. I lit on to her and I says, that's my pig.
You know your pigs, Mr. Tucker.
Yes, indeed I do.
Well, I think now we can go home, Mr. Norton?
No, sirree, you don't go home yet. It's near time for lunch and Delilah's cooked up a rhubarb pie to celebrate. Fritz, I would consider it an honor of you to break bread with us.
Well, Mr. Tucker, I
ain't a man for speeches, and ain't a humble kind of man either. I've lived too long and I've managed too well. But I got to say, you got a fine hand with pigs. Ruby knew you was her friend right off.
David, you said it would take 20 years.
With people. With pigs, 20 minutes.
You can learn a lot from pigs. I have. So, Fritz, I just want to say this. Any friend of Ruby's is a friend of mine. Shake on it.
I will shake on it.
Speaking for the community, welcome to Eastbrook, Mr. Fritz. Welcome to Eastbrook.
Are you expecting anyone over this week? Don't dismiss the whole thing until the last minute, unless, of course, you put in a good supply of Coke today. With plenty of Coca-Cola on hand, you don't need to keep asking yourself, what'll I serve them? The answer is right in your icebox, an answer that appeals to everyone. The ever-welcome way to bring the pause that refreshes.
Hello there, Mr. King. Hello there.
Well, congratulations, Mr. Tucker. I understand you're grandfather to a litter of piglets.
Well, 'tain't nothing at all. 'Tain't nothing at all.
And congratulations on something else, even more important.
What's more important than Ruby's litter?
We're happy you like Fritz.
Oh.
You see, we've known him longer, and we're all very fond of him.
Well, he's a good hand with animals, and 'tis sort of convenient to have a man like him around, so I welcome him.
His wife, Bertha, is as fine a hand with babies as Fritz is with piglets.
Well, then the Nortons really is lucky.
They really are. And Claudia will know it more than ever tomorrow. Till then, so long, Jared Tucker.
I'll be seeing you, Mr. King.
Every day, Monday through Friday, Claudia comes to you transcribed with the best wishes of your friendly neighbor who bottles Coca-Cola. So listen again tomorrow at the same time. And now this is Joe King saying au revoir. And remember, whoever you are, whatever you do, wherever you may be, when you think of refreshment, think of Coca-Cola. For Coca-Cola makes any pause the pause that refreshes. And ice-cold Coca-Cola is everywhere. This broadcast of Claudia was supervised and directed by William Brown Maloney.
And there you go, from August 10th, 1948, Claudia on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. And, Piggy, gotta love it. All righty, thank you so much for making us a part of your day here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Always appreciated and happy you stopped by here on your favorite radio station. Would you do me a favor and thank this station, support their advertisers? It's their kindness and courtesy that allows us to be with you on these 100 radio stations that carry our show from coast to coast. And it's greatly appreciated. We thank you. We never forget it. We never forget those stations. They're always so important to us. Now, if you miss a day, you don't have to miss a show. That's what I meant to say. And you can find all of our shows on demand at our webpage, classicradio.stream. That is classicradio.stream. Stream our shows on demand. Learn more about classic radio collecting. You can find our social media links. You can find the places, the various podcast applications where you can download and then be able to download our shows and keep copies of them. And of course, you can also contact me there. That's at classicradio.stream. And by the way, you can also buy me a coffee. Now, why do I suggest that? Because I don't drink coffee? It's because that's how we continue to grow our shows. If you buy me a coffee, that money all goes into a fund for us to invest in getting additional new, great-sounding classic radio shows to be here on your favorite station. Tell all your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial, won't you please? Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite station.